book, please turn to page 27. We'll start with the 7 limb prayer. Gosum gupe gone chatzelo neshami tu chuti malubu tomene saditu tam cheshak kepa gewanam la Sheirang Korwa Matom Bardu Le June Dola Cheki Kolo Korwa Dam Da Zhenge Nam Janju Chenpo Ngom. Please turn to page 97. And we'll chant the mandala offering at the bottom of the page. Saji perki jushi metog Dani Kyapsuchi Dagi Chujin Gibe Sonam Ji Dola Penchu Sangye Tu Pasho Sanje Chudan Soki Chonam La Janchu Badu Dani Kyapsuchi Dagi Chujin Gibe Sonam Ji Dola Penchu Sangye Tu Pasho Sanje Chudan Soki Chonam La Janchu Badu Dani Kyapsuchi Dagi Chinyangi Pesurnamgi Dola Penchu Sangye Tu Pasho.
Ninde Shiva Sona Kushe Nije Nishe Tumse Kwayanda Dola Pempa Chuna Lamshe Nije Jiten Tudu Zeba Kanda Ayanda Debe Tuna Naba Kunde Nazo Bezombo Ninde Janjo Sebe Soja Taje Jine Rimde La Chazela Kange Tenjen Jeba Jo Gaba Meba Chemeba Cheba Meba Da Meba Hoa Meba No Meba Tade Deme Deje Me Cheba Nishe Shedema Zobe Sanje Manamje Tamba De La Chazela Kange Tuse Nyesone Tawa Tamje Mabeje Tabe Chune Denzeba Kodam De La Chazela Good evening. Welcome back to the class. Maybe short introductions, brief introductions, maybe 5 minutes. Where we stop?
We finished the 7th dissolution,
Okay.
one of the radiant black near attainment.
Mm.
And we were getting ready to start with when the mind of near attainment dissolves into the clear light. The second portion of the mind of near attainment that is without mindfulness after the definitions.
After the definitions.
After the definitions, yeah.
Last definition.
The last definition says, the definition of a mind of near attainment is a mental consciousness which occurs upon the dissolution of the conceptions and until their movement reinstatement, to which an appearance of radiant black vacuity dawns, which is like an autumn sky free of defilement, and pervaded by the thick darkness of the beginning of night, and to which no other coarse dualistic appearance appears. Because you said you want to skip the definition.
Yeah, very good. Otherwise, definition is kind of complicated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. So, what we have been doing with this class last maybe more than a month. We are trying to study death, death and dying process. That's what we're trying to do, trying to learn how to help somebody who's dying. And not just that, also help yourself, make sure and make sure that our, make sure that we don't get confused, or if we experiencing something unusual when we are dying. So then to understand what's happening now, how you say in America, what's going on? Yeah, so what's going on, so rather than to get confused. There are certain, how you say, certain feeling that you go through different stages. It's not, it's just feeling, it's not reality, it's just reality. What's happening is like elements are dissolving to one to another. Or other way to say is like the element that support the life force is kind of like exhausting. So then the second one is become more obvious. That's what is called dissolve. First one to second one is not like really like water dissolved into the sun. It's not, water dissolved into the sand. It's not like that. It's not like one become another. It's like earth element support the life force. That power is now deteriorating. It's getting weaker and weaker. Then the water elements become more obvious. That's what it means, dissolve. So then there are like external sign that you can see if someone's dying. The internal sign you cannot see, but the dying person can feel, and make sure that's like it's not something really happening. That's the kind of like feeling that you get. So once you understand that, you don't get confused. Then you, I would say, try to. Do you understand that you are going through those dissolution process? Okay, so there's two benefit. So of course the point is to recognize when you experience clear light, to recognize that recognize that clear light and use your knowledge about shunyata, if you have some knowledge about shunyata. So right now it's very it's very hard to get even glimpse of shunyata because so much going on, through five senses, the way we interact through five senses, and not able to distinguish between appearances and reality. For us, it's pretty much same, but actually it's not same, it's different. It may appear something very absolute, inherent. In reality, there's no absolute, there's no inherent, there's no independence. It's totally different, total difference. So therefore, as a dualistic view that like kind of obscure us to see the clear light means shunyata, no different. Clear light means shunyata. So then while you are alive, so then you read and you think and you think and you think deep. So then you have some idea that how you say that you may able to have some understanding of shunyata, how you say, So then that's exactly what's going to happen, the end of the death. Now when everything dissolves, automatically you see like you feel something, or you could say see something like space, nothing else. So then there's the mother light, mother killer light. If you can combine the child light that you develop through educations, meditating on shunyata, so then you can mix that experience, the time of death when actually it's happening. So then you could instantaneously liberate it. That's the whole point. But it's hard. But so that's the whole point. The whole point is that, okay. So now, when we are alive, you say, "Oh, I am so, I'm this, I'm that." Then we say so many times. So we just go with that ideas, but we never analyze. When you start to analyze, I who's very stressed out, I who's very irritated, I who's very angry. When you start to analyze how you define that self, so then Jebusami Chuma Jebusami is not a body. It's not a body. It's not a body. No. Body will turn into ashes, but self doesn't turn into ashes. Clearly, it's not a body. It's not the liquid inside the body. So you go through that. Who is so irritated? Who is my body? Is liquid inside my body? Is the heat inside my body? Is the oxygen I breathe? Is that me? No. Is the space inside the body? Is that me? No. Is this the mind that think about things? No. If it's the mind, nobody can see you. If it's your mind, if you yourself, your mind, nobody can see you. Nobody can communicate. That's how to gain the experience of shunyata. Then eventually, you can find. So then pause there, pause. When you reach to there, there's nothing to find. There's nothing to find. You pause there and meditate. Or you may say, I don't find. That's the best way. That's the best way of finding. Not finding is the best way of finding. Matongwani tonga tamba. Oh. Manyeba leba nyeba. If you cannot find, you found the best. Don't freak out. Don't freak out if you don't see. That's the best way of seeing. Matongwani tonga tamba. Then pause there. Then the same idea applies to everything. Same idea applies to everything. So seeing is no problem, but believing in that creates a lot of problem. What you see, appearances. That's what you see, appearances. Do you see reality? Reality is different. There's a difference between appearance and reality. So that's how you try to get the glimpse of shunyata, go through that. If all of those is not self, then what is self? Self is merely imputed on this collection of aggregate, merely imputed John. Geshe Gelek, that's all. It's just merely imputed on the collection of aggregate. That's what you call. Jibu kamdu divishis, yangda mayins. It's not absolute, it's not inherent, it's not independent, it's just merely labels on the collection of aggregate. That's what it's called. That's not how we see it. That's not how it appears. It appears something absolute, something independent. In reality, it's not like that. Reality is just merely imputed on the collection of aggregate. That's what it is. Same thing. Then every single object is like that. Every single object is like that, imputed on something. That's how they appear. But that's not how, in the reality, that's how things exist. Labels, merely labels. But that's not how it appears. It appears something absolute, inherent, dualistic, here, there, dualistic. Another way to say is like all the appearances is the reflection of your mind. That very mind, nature of the mind is like space. There's no color. You can't find. You cannot find. Nawa sim tongpa. Nawa sim tongpa. So that's how you walk on shunyata while you are alive. Time of death, in the very end of the dissolutions, then you experience this completely empty, like space. Then you have some idea, oh, that's what I experienced when I meditate on emptiness. Or maybe that is how actually you see or feel. So if that moment, if you can say, oh, this is not other than emptiness. So why you experience that? Because all this dualistic mind is pretty much disappeared, pretty much dissolved automatically without any effort. So that's why you experience that. Right now, dualistic mind is so gross, so vivid. So that's why it's hard to experience that, like space, like experience is hard to get. You need to put some work there. So then if you recognize, oh, that's exactly what I'm supposed to feel when I meditate on emptiness. Now you are feeling that automatically. If you can combine that experience of shunyata, glimpse of experience of shunyata, if you can combine there, then you kind of manage to introduce child light that you develop through meditation on shunyata, mother light you automatically experience, then you introduce them, then power instantaneously liberated. That's the whole point. So that's the whole point. just to make sure. That's the whole point. So then it's not like a very foreign. That's the dissolution process. It happens all the time. Every time when we sleep, it happens. But we are not aware. Only difference between death and life is breath. Only difference between sleep and death is breath. That's the only difference. Sleep, you're breathing. That's the only difference between death and sleep. There's not much difference. But you go through this dissolution process. During the sleep, you go through quite fast. Time of death, it could go a little bit slower. Then maybe you had better chance to recognize them. Okay. So now we are the very last dissolution. So, so then I think one class is not enough. If you are really interested about this whole death process, if you really want to learn about death and dying, so you need to read again. It's one class is not enough. You need to read, and that's how you learn. You have to study. Without study, you cannot learn. So same thing here. One class is probably not enough, so then you need to read again. So then each time when you read, you learn more. Oh. So you get some idea rather than zero idea. You know? So I think it's better to have some idea when you're dying than no idea. So then you get confused. Nyedo vesa la tindi vesa shawe tseza, nyedo jime teme de sang nezi, nina daba chunse jan meba tunji namga yata wala dayi, tongsan ji namge rangdo chida washin, tongsan shinto tame nawa, tongji ngusu tabi nyamshaki nawa shi chara. In the very end, Namke Rangdo is like the true nature of sky that you see in the very early morning. Turns na autumn. According to some other explanation, the autumn skies, you will see more clearly because there's less dust in the space compared to the rest of the other seasons. There may be more dust in the sky. In the autumns, there's less dust, so therefore you see more the sky more clearly in the early morning, in the autumn. So that kind of experience, you vividly experience that moment. You vividly experience. You don't need to put any effort; it will happen. You don't need to put any effort; it will happen. Only thing that you need to recognize. That's all. You need to recognize. That's all. The one man nyedo vesa la timneji vesa sharbe tse nyedo ji me chemete sanes. In the beginning of that, the early part, you are kind of aware. Not aware means not like now. This is very subtle. Not aware means you can hear. You cannot hear. You cannot remember anything. You cannot hear. But it's like, but there's awareness. It's kind of alert. And then the latter part, then is kind of like fainting. Faint. There's no awareness at all, but doesn't mean there's no awareness. There is awareness because very subtle. So then right after that, then you experience this. You experience like, what do you call that? Experience, can you read that?
The radiant black near attainment, the mind of radiant black near attainment. Do you want me to read the paragraph?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So I'm on page 45 in Death, Intermediate State, and Rebirth. The eighth dissolution, when the mind of near attainment dissolves into the clear light, the second portion of the mind of near attainment that is without mindfulness is cleared away. Without even the slightest coarse dualistic appearance, an appearance of very clear vacuity dawns. It is like the natural color of a dawn sky in autumn, free of the three causes of pollution, moonlight, sunlight, and darkness. This appearance is like that of a consciousness in meditative equipoise directly realizing emptiness.
That's what happens in the very end. Tili kamani mishibi tilila. Tili kamani che. Why you experience that? There's a reason behind that. Tili kamani is there's two different drops. The red you receive from mother. The white that you receive from father. The white drop is located in the crown chakra. The red drop is located below navel or belly button. You say belly button. Even though there's no button, you say belly button. And I'm not in America. Belly button. So that's why the red drop is located. So, tili kamani mishibi tili. tilikamani mishibi tilikamani teams tilikamani. There's 2 drops dissolve into what is called
The white.
And red indestructible drops.
indestructible drops. That's what is called mishibi tili. Mishibi tili. There's this word indestructible. Indestructibles could mean 2 things, you know. Indestructible based on time. Indestructible based on life force. So this indestructible refers based on life force. These 2 drops is there longest life force is there. When the life force finish, the 2 drop separate. Make sense? So the indestructible based on time, that means energy and mind, they never separate. Even after death, it never been separated. Right from the beginning, it's never going to be separated. Make sense? In Tibetan, the word called Mishikpa, so that's what is translated indestructible. Am I making any sense? Huh? Is there any commentary there in English? So the word, I want to explain this word indestructible. So,
There's no commentary.
so translator knowledge is finished there. Translator knowledge is finished when it comes to the word Mishikpa. Inseparable based on life force. When the life force finish, they separate. Inseparable based on time, that means they never separate. They never get separated. So these 2 drops is called indestructible.
Yes.
Is this making little sense? So that word indestructible needs to explain, but it's not that important. I just want to explain. So that's all. So that's the best I can do. Move on. That mishibe tikleje kamani la timje umen nangi lung tamje shindota umen nangi. Now the energy from the central channels, first like the knot, many knots loosen up from the upper part, so then the lower part, so then eventually the knot, the center of the heart, center of heart loosened up, so then energy from the 2 side channels dissolve into the main central channel. So then also like all the energy from upper part, lower part from the central channel dissolve. Now this is very, very subtle. It's subtle as it can get energy. What is called in English?
The very subtle life-bearing wind.
Yeah, wind. So we are not talking about wind element. We are talking about the energy. That's wind is its energy. When you hear the word wind, what do you think? You think of energy, or you think about what? Is there any different meaning when you hear the word wind? What do you get? What kind of idea you get? See, so that's element. There's a wind element. We are not talking about. There's a wind element. So now, in Sanskrit it's called parna. I'm not sure. Tibetan we call wind, lung. So that even those same word, lung, there's a lot of wind. Same word. When you're reading about this text, when you see the word wind, it means something else. It doesn't mean something that moves things around. No. See, energy. As I said before, like energy is like blind person with leg. That's like energy. Energy cannot see. Energy is like blind person with leg. Mind is like a person who has eye but no leg. No leg. So that means mind cannot move around. In order to move mind around, so when you see something beautiful, you feel good because energy is going out. The energy is the one, and because of the energy, the movement of the mind happens because of the energy. Without energy, there will be no movement for the mind. So energy itself cannot see things because it's like the blind person with the leg, ability to move around but cannot see. The mind is ability to see but cannot move. Two of them then can see and move around. That's like that. Tene mishibo da shindo ta sundu lung la timbe tangbu le shile be shindo ta lung sem mundu chuwe na tene nawa shawa yinji chiro ne nambata wale nawa shawa bayinus. So then can you finish the rest, please?
With respect to the cause of the clear light appearance, the white and red drops dissolve into the white and red indestructible drops, and all the winds inside the central channel dissolve into the very subtle life-bearing wind. Through this, the very subtle wind and mind that have existed in the ordinary state from the beginning are made manifest, whereby such an appearance dawns. Thus, this is not a case of an appearance of vacuous sky from the outside.
That's everything, that's where it begins. That's everything. The light begins from there, and light ends there. That's how light begins. So it begins between two drops. That's how light begins, then it will end there. So then, out of the karmic force, it kind of shakes. White drop comes down, red drop comes up. Out of the natural cause, it will kind of switch the positions. The white drop goes down, red drop comes up. So that's where now the subtle wind and subtle consciousness remain between that. So then after, like generally speaking, after 3 days, then the out of natural cause is that kind of shakes. It's like size of like lentils, half lentils, size of. So then after 3 days, kind of shook. So then white drops comes out of the tip of the organ, the red drops comes out of the nose. So that's external sign. Now you see consciousness already descend from the body. Chiroji na wada dene tela chiwa vesa da tamje tongbashi just. What's called that? What's called chiwa vesa?
The clear light of death.
Oh, that is the clear light of death. Dene?
And the all empty.
That is death. That is actual death. So now you know, when you stop breathing, there's no death, according to death process, because consciousness is there. That's why people keep the body 3 days, like minimum. And of course, there are some rituals to force the consciousness to leave the body. There are certain rituals, like remaining consciousness there a long period of time does not necessarily mean something good. Sometimes people, they just, consciousness remain there out of craving on something, clinging on something. Could be possession, could be wealth, could be anything. So there's special rituals that you do, so then it's kind of ritual kind of force the consciousness to leave. if this consciousness is remaining there for wrong reasons. So the monks, they are very attached to butter, because we make butter tea. The thicker the butter on the tea is the better. Thicker, the butter, we make butter tea. So then black tea, milk, salt, butter, mixed. That's called butter tea. So I think one time that one monk's death, probably remaining in the body long period of time, turns out he's kind of clinging on the butter, not able to let it go, the butter on the butter tea, kind of clinging on there. Ganden, there's Tushita realm. Tushita realms, there are like certain events that take place in the Tushita realm. There are like a lot of like prayer recitings, event that takes place. Ganden Rujichimbos. So there's like great prayer festivals been taking place in Tushita realms. So then some monks, the dead monks remaining there, turns out it's like clinging on the butter, in the butter tea. So then somebody realized that and said, oh, in the Tushita realm, there's much more butter there. Immediately consciousness left. So, if that happens, you could say cheesecake. That's much better cheesecake. Much better cheesecake or much better chocolate chip cookies. Much better than whole food, maybe consciousness belief. That's the actual death. Shi chugu, tongsa de la shi ngonigo. That next three line is kind of hard to understand, but please read.
This is the basic truth body. The vacuity is called the basic nature body, and the mind that takes it as its object is called the basic realization wisdom truth body. Chiwa chuku. Three basic body refers to death, intermittent state, birth. The three basic. These are the result. You're trying to achieve these three results, studying death, intermittent state, birth. And you're trying to transform these three basic body, death, intermittent state, birth, transform into these three kayas. That's when tell a tamabe minam shatri bande laso. Then generally speaking, like unless the body has been exhausted, completely exhausted by long period of sicknesses, or then maybe like some kind of accidents. Other than that, consciousness remain there maximum 3 days, generally speaking, but it's not definite. Then they come down. Then after that, so the white drops comes out of the tip of the organ, the red drops comes out of the nose. So if body is completely exhausted by sicknesses, you may not see those signs like drops, red drops coming out from nose, the white drop coming out of the organ. Nanjobe toba tomeji ongi wesa de chukuda se de jobala shana manu meba sungso. Then can you read? Most ordinary humans remain in the clear light for 3 days, whereupon the signs of the white and red constituents occur. However, in cases where the physical constituents have been severely consumed by disease, the signs of the red and white constituents do not occur no matter how many days pass. Also, it is said that yogis with higher and lower realization can mix the clear light with the truth body and remain in this for a greater or lesser number of days.
Truth body, truth body, truth body.
Dharmakaya.
Oh, as I said, as I also mentioned before, I read from the books, like that experience, that whole experience, if you can mix with what's called child killer light, that you manage to understand through meditating on emptiness why you are alive. You have same experience. Time of death, everybody experiences that very vividly. So then you can introduce to each other child killer light and mother killer light. You can introduce or combine. So that could remain there 18 days, 20 days, many, many days. Now, now the scientists also, modern scientists also involved. Whenever the monks pass away, not that long ago, less than 2 years ago, one of the masters from the Devu monastery, after death, remained in the body 18 days. The scientists from different countries investigated. I'm not sure what's the result. Yeah, I myself witnessed some of my masters, when they pass away. So some of them remain like 9 days. So when you walk into the room, there's like this odor, very like strong, like smell like perfume, but there's no perfume. When you look at the person's face, it's like kind of like this, what do you call this? When you're alive, there's some kind of light aura that people possess. So you see all of that. Sometimes you see the sweat on their mustache. So that scene, yeah, so that happens. I witnessed from my naked eye. So a few of my masters. So one of our member, Emily, when she passed away, one of the members told me that when she walked in, there's like this smell. So for me, it's not surprise, not surprise. Nobody uses perfume, but there's smells, like wonderful smells. So there's certain external sign that people can experience. So, so now there's no, you want to read, maybe rest, you can, not that important, but yeah, please.
Dissolution. With respect to the way that the minds of appearance, increase, and near attainment dissolve, the capacity of the former mind ceases and the latter becomes more manifest. This is called a dissolution of the former into the latter, but it is not that the former becomes of the nature of the latter.
There's more headache, no need to read. There's a long time. They're just explaining the dissolutions, what it means to dissolve. It's not like one become another, that's like explanation. So, because we don't debate here, we debate, so then you have to remember all of that, otherwise more likely you lose the debate. So that's not the case. There will be no quiz. Chi lung lo chara mandu yebe rakwan nam tim tsawa chawa de lung chawa chibi shibi den jibi nipa lung So people who does not have any experience about shunyata, how they experience it, like someone who has no knowledge about shunyata, then how they experience this, like things without dualistic view, that you experience something. So they experience nala mageba. So can you see that? How they experience nala mageba? So they need to experience nala mageba. Tamaba namji chua beza there. So like normal people, how they experience this clear light. Nala mageba is noise. You see, the very end.
Mm-hmm. Ordinary beings experience the clear light of death in the manner of its appearing without being ascertained, not with a mind of ascertainment.
Ascertain. What is ascertain? To understand. What is the difference between understanding and ascertain? Understand. Experience without understanding is better, or ascertain? I don't understand the word. Can you repeat, Chula, please?
Yeah. Ordinary beings experience the clear light of death in the manner of its appearing without being ascertained.
Without being understand or ascertain, which
Well,
one is
ascertained
better?
is like to try to get it. You're not trying to get it, it just comes.
Yeah.
So,
Experience without understanding is better, or experience without ascertain, which one is better?
well, I don't know. I don't know the Tibetan. I mean, it makes sense to say that it can appear without being understood.
I will give you an example. If you are 100% focused on some color or some shape, you may hear some sound, some noise. You hear the noise, but you can't make. You can say, oh, there's a dronasi noise, there's like thamula noise, chukla noise. You can distinguish. But you hear, but you don't understand. Why? Because you are so focused on the visual image. Or like, say, for example, how you say, you see this video on the YouTube that like gorilla bounced the ball. What do you call?
The gorilla in the basketball?
That amazing is like the person went by 3 times, you can't see. Explain it happening right from the beginning in front of your eye, but you can't see.
This is a video on YouTube that where there's a basketball game going on, and the instruction is to keep your eye on the ball. So if you're really keeping focused on the ball, during the period that you're watching the video, someone in a gorilla costume runs back and forth several times in the background. But if you're focused on the ball, you don't even see the gorilla. And then when you go back and look at it, of course, you can't miss it.
That's probably even worse. You are 100% focused on the sound or music. You are 100% focused on the sound. Something happened in front of your eye, you can't tell. But you know something's moving, something went by, you don't know is that who. But the moving things that you see, but you don't understand. That's a for example of these things. Make sense now? So that you see it, but you don't understand. So that's why nala mangeba so tamabona jiwesa choice nala mangeba sinyoinji. Nala mangeba sinyoinji. If you have some understanding, then you will see with understanding. You see understanding. So now experience without any understanding. So that is called?
That the clear light of death appears without being ascertained.
So if that makes sense in your English language, then that's okay, no need to change, didn't it?
not with a mind of ascertainment.
Yeah, so it did make sense, so, didn't it?
The mother and son clear light?
Oh.
That's the clear light of death is the mother clear light, whereas that which dawns through the power of meditation during sleep and the waking state while on the spiritual path is
So
called
now
the
you see, that's called mother clear light. Everybody experience, no need effort experience. Child clear light, that happens when you are alive. That experience happens when you are alive. That's called child that you produce. It's not just happen, you produce. Tene lamjuji ni dang sebe, lamjuji ni dang sebe kabzu gomdoji shebe yasala puyuza shiche. So lamjuji, tene, that more.
that which dawns through the power of meditation during sleep and the waking state while on the spiritual path is called the child clear light. Meditation that mixes these two during the clear light
So
of
the
death.
sleeping yoga, so it, like, as I said, it happened quite rapidly. All these dissolutions happen during the sleep, but of course we don't pay attention. We don't pay attention. It happens. If you start to pay attention, then you experience that kind of things. That's called childlike. That you put effort, that you produce that. Or the language need the sebe because gondo je zo mai da shi tini chiwa de se ne gombo tini.
Meditation that mixes these two during the clear light of death is
Mix
called
or introduce to each other. Mix or introduce to each other. Same thing. Yeah.
this is called mixing the mother and child clear lights.
The same experience, you recognize both. That means mixed. Chiri vesa tsingi ba yinam she nasa, nanju be vesa mabu se de tato jobone vesa ba yin, teta ma yin ba tama ba ranju she chiwa vesa nina raba gadu la vesa she taba tsima ba yin. So mother light is not actual, is like, it's called mother clear light. Actually, it's not really clear light, but you can make it to, you can make that into clear light if you have some experience before that. So, actually, generally speaking, that mother light is not really clear light. It's just called clear light.
So there's a question, is the clear light of death in general a fully qualified clear light? The answer, although the mother and child clear lights that are mixed and stabilized within the view by a yogi are a fully qualified clear light, the clear light of death that dawns for an ordinary being, not by the power of meditation but on its own accord, is a case of imputing the name clear light to just a stoppage of gross dualistic appearance. It's not fully qualified.
So then, please continue.
In general, clear light is of two types. The objective clear light, that is the subtle emptiness, and the subjective clear light, that is the wisdom consciousness realizing this emptiness.
See, now they're clear. There's two of them, clear light. So next time when you hear clear light, now you have some idea. Mahamudra, same thing. Chiwe rinpa dina la nga lame ji jezo ni ji chiwa chuku chibe lamche tang. Peda tunji vesa nam jangshi zo yinbe dina la leba koha chaba shindu keche. Yeah, please continue.
So the conclusion, these stages of death are brought within the path by the practice of taking death as the truth body in the stages of generation and completion of highest yoga mantra. They are also...
Let's go. I think there's one, not one problem, but it's one difficulties when you translate in English. Each time you use different word, then people get confused. Shouldn't call. In your mind, tantra, mantra, same thing or different? Huh? So therefore, people should not use different words. People get more confused. Make sure stick with one word. Whole purpose of writing a book is to make sure that people understand when they read it. If they create more confusion, then the purpose of writing a book is not, I don't know, it's not to show how much word you know. That's not the purpose of writing a book. The purpose of writing a book is to make sure that people understand what that needs to be understood. Mantra is something that you recite. Tantra should say tantra, not should say mantra. Should say tantra. But in Tibetan word, there's no problem. You could say mantra, but there'll be no confusions. The words are very clear. Nga, sanga, the same thing. But English mantra, Sanskrit mantra, people usually say mantra. Even the news people, they use mantra. So that means something that you say again and again. So that's what people has in mind. Mantra means something you say again and again. But that's not what it means. That's not the definition of mantra. Man, Sanskrit word, man means mind. Tara means protections, protect. Mental protection, that's the definition of mantra. It's not something that you say. Then of course pizza could be mantra. You could say pizza, 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 pizza. That doesn't protect your mind. You could say 108 round of pizza. Does that protect your mind? Pizza, pizza, pizza. But you say, man is Sanskrit word, means mind. Tara means protect. The protection of mind, that's the definition of mantra. It's not like something you repeat. Mantra. Better to say tantra. Tantra. So there are 4 classes of tantra: Kriya tantra, Charya tantra, Yoga tantra, highest Yoga tantra. Within the highest Yoga tantra, there's 2 stages: generating stage and complete stages. So that's what they're talking about, 2 stages of tantra. So generating stage, there's 3 practices that helps transform your ordinary body, ordinary death, ordinary like intermediate state, and ordinary birth, transform into 3 bodies. 3 bodies. So then that practice becomes a little bit more deeper into generating stage. There are also another practice that also transform your normal death, birth, intermediate state into 3 bodies. That's what they're talking about. Please continue.
And these stages of death are also the main basis of purification by means of the metaphoric and actual clear lights. Therefore, it is very important to form a good understanding of them.
Purification, there's another word, is not, this is very literally translation of Jiangxi, purification. It's like, actually it's the base, it's the basis. It's the basis of the practice. The basis of the practice, that's what it's called. It's the literal translation. Purification, what's called purification?
Basis of purification.
Yeah, basis of purification. It's probably should say basis of practice, but better, basis of practice of 3 kayas, 3 enlightened bodies. The practice, as I said, practice, there are 3 different practices in general stages, 3 different practices in the complete stages. This practice then transform these 3 basic bodies into 3 kayas. So basis of practice, probably that's a better translation, I think, is rather than basis of purifications. Basis of purifications. Yeah. So that kind of now complete the death resolution process. There's also kind of educations about death and dying. Death and dying. If someone wants to help somebody while they are dying, so based on some external sign that you can see and you can help. So now we go into intermediate state, pardo, between birth and death. Where you can hang out 49 days. Don't need to go up, don't need to decide, don't need to make decision right away. 49 days, so your remaining family can help to guide you into the right path force of prayer, pujas. Therefore, that this 49-day ceremony within the Tibetan community take very seriously. Here in the West, only happen one day. Memorial service only one day. Yeah, one day. In Tibetan, it goes on 49 days. You remember, and you are doing every week, you are doing something for the deceased person. You are doing something. And somehow it helps to guide them. Because Pardo possess some kind of clairvoyance, can see, feel, week number 1 to 4, that part of being probably looks like the person who died. Then the rest probably looks like whatever rebirth that person is going to take is going to look like that. So there's no surprise when you hear, oh, so-and-so say, oh, I saw my mom, I saw my father, I saw my this. It's not surprise. Maybe they are, like having a connection with the intermediate state with the same form. There's no surprise. So I'm not sure about after a year. Some people say they see it. Then how to say what it is? I'm not sure. Or sometimes they say, okay, I see them, but their body is like huge, very tall. I think this kind of sign that person is going to be born in like celestial realms, because they're like different realm. There's different size of body. So a few years ago, I kind of, out of curiosity, I tried to count how many foot. Here, the tallest one is like 7 foot. So I kind of tried to count like celestial realm, their being, how tall. So it's kind of like I just tried to count how many foot. Some of them are like have 16 foot, 16 foot tall. So then I lost my interest and I didn't count. So just out of curiosity, I count a little bit. So then so now that we're going to study about intermediate state, we are going to study about intermediate state. Okay. Tada chiwa de sente yume to chitsam nebe ta tingan datism. So then, as I said, generally speaking, that subtle consciousness and the subtle energy remain there between 2 drops. Looks like size of lentils, half size of lentils. Then out of 3 days, kind of like, then out of natural force, it kind of shakes. Then consciousness departs from there. Vesale dawa tsam yimbe tsam tene shindo tawe lungsim de nyingye kam kamari tile kasha chewe nane chirone jane tene ludipur, then kind of separated from this house. Finish. So that's how the intermediate state. But there's no intermediate state, then they possess some kind of clairvoyance, but you don't have this like gross body, so it's like light form of light body. Light illuminations or light. What is the difference between illumination and light? Same thing, yeah, form of light. Padulu teta tunyam do nyinge kam go to the body taji da mamu chino na go chini to te cho de chuma lu zenga ba de padu nyelenchi nyelen padu luji nyelenda sebelenchi chela che. So chiwa vesa je sende padu chiwa je sende padu luji. So this I think is good, important to read. So I think why it's important to read, it will give you some idea how everything began, how it began. It doesn't like, oh, before this it's like tree, so all of a sudden then become human. It's not like that, no. How that begins. So if it's like before this is like some redwood trees, all of a sudden this become like human, then I think nothing to worry about. Maybe you're going to be like tree again. So then there's no feeling, nothing. So, but that's not the case. So I think that's why it's important to read for the education, for the sake of education, so knowledge.
At the end of howsoever long the mind of clear light abides without any movement, a slight movement that is a mere quiver occurs within it. This initiates the rising from the clear light. At this point, the very subtle wind and mind leave the opened drop of the white and red constituents at the heart and pass outside. The body is left, and a body of the intermediate state is established. Simultaneously, the white constituent at the heart descends and emerges from the point of the male or female sign, while the red constituent rises and emerges from the nose. The wind that serves as the mount of the clear light of death and has the 5 lights acts as the substantial cause of the body of the intermediate state.
Oh, so that's important. Like, chiwa weta shimbachi lungu wese ngaba de parde luji nyelentang. How is it? Can you repeat it, please?
The wind that serves as the mount
Energy, same thing. Did it?
Of the clear light of death and has the 5 lights acts as the substantial cause of the body of the intermediate state.
Substantial cause,
Yeah, and the main cause
main cause
of the body of the intermediate state.
So now, what's the cause? So now see, that's the cause, didn't it?
This life-bearing wind also acts as the cooperative cause of the mind of the intermediate state.
Didn't it?
The mind of the clear light of death acts as the cooperative cause of the body and the substantial cause of the mind of the intermediate state.
So now, what is the first cause called? What is the first cause called?
The substantial cause of the body of the intermediate
Yeah,
state.
substantial cause. Now, if you wonder what is substantial cause, difference between substantial cause and what another cause?
Cooperative.
Cooperative cause. Say, if you want to make some jewel out of gold, so that gold is the first one. What is gold?
The substantial cause.
The gold is substantial cause of this gold ring, gold itself. So then the artist, the jeweler, and the tools, these are
The cooperative causes.
cooperative cause. That's what it like difference. Okay, both are cause, but contribute in different ways. One, it becomes gold ring, then cooperated with the jeweler and the tools, then it becomes rings. So, that's this life based on the cooperative cause and the substantial cause. So, yeah, please.
In dependence on this, the intermediate state, which has a body of wind with the aspect of the human being as which one is to be reborn, is established in actuality, separate from the old aggregates of a fruition.
So then I did this goes on the Sadis so Manguni Chiwang Chisi Gabada, Pasitubani Sunday Tomation, the number songs. Pasiba Juji and be on board the Yalanila Jesus to be. So then the intermediate stage called like what's called there's like 4 different types of birth. So only thing that we have problem with the birth of heat. Birth from heat, birth from womb, birth from egg, birth from miracle birth, then birth from heat. Here people don't understand. So including myself, I said all the time, but I don't understand birth from heat. So I thought so here then yeah, so we are not going to talk about that. So I'm not going to convince you to believe. So that actually according to Buddhist teaching there's 4 different births. So Pardo is like miracle birth. Miracle birth, if they die, you don't see body. You don't see, but there will be no body. There will be no body. All the beings in the celestial realm, when they pass away, there's no body to see. There's nobody to see. Because like they don't have this body like us, heavily dependent on gross food. So they probably don't need food because their heart is filled with joy. So they don't need to eat anything. Maybe some of them just contained just smelling something, don't need to eat anything. They're just contained by smelling something. But we are not like that. When we smell something, we want to eat. It's a different. So, so these, when they're born with all the organs simultaneous. It's not like they develop stage by stage like humans, like 9 months, 10 days, generally speaking. So this, they just happen, everything happened right there. So when they die, they cannot see their crops. There will be no crops. But the DJ is a part of Tomata, the same Ludo, so all those no need, so more headaches. So tisa is called tis. Ti means smell, sa means consume, consuming smell. So therefore, again, in our Tibetan traditions, so remain family take this practice called sur practice. Sur practice that you make something like some kind of like in Tibet, roasted barley flour is already cooked. That's what we eat. Tsamba is called tsamba. Usually you can eat with a butter tea or some butter, and you can eat put some sugar. It's ready to eat, called roasted butter or tsamba. So there you could pour like 3 white food like milk, yogurt, butter. Then 3 sweet, honey, brown sugar, something else. White sugar, brown sugar, honey. This is called 6 substance. You mix with roasted barley flour, then do some blessings. So you make tons of them. So then every morning and every evening you burn them, because in a medium state they consume smells. So the remaining family member, they take that very seriously. So some cases, people, they fill their cups and pot during the lunch time, dinner time. So they just, why? Because Pardo possess clear one, everything. Pardo knows what is happening. Pardo kind of understands, sees. Well, this kind of practices, a Tibetan community takes very seriously. People, remain family, take them very seriously, feeling they are still doing something for their loved one, even though they already passed like 4 or 5 years ago. They do that till 49 days. So that's what's called smell. Also, that's what I'm explaining here. Ona pardu yepechida wajinda teda ranjan namji nidu do niji also tashida tombashi chidu dan dawa chematsam resha ni niji vesa chalas tile dawa tsombana milamji lus dawa tsomshi. So this is also interesting. So why there's like intermediate state? So can you read this, please? So,
What example is there for the existence of such an intermediate state? Nowadays, when we go to sleep, the 4 signs, as well as the 4 empties of sleep, dawn like those at the time of death, but only briefly. The clear light of sleep dawns, and when we begin to rise from that, we do so in a dream body. Having risen from the clear light of sleep, a dream body is achieved, and we perform the various activities of dream time.
So that's how you dream. When you start to dream, then you kind of come out of this dissolution process. That's why you dream.
Then when we begin to awaken from sleep, the wind body of dream dissolves from the outside like breath on a mirror, and gathering at the heart dissolves into the very subtle wind and mind that are undifferentiable entity inside the central channel at the heart of the old mental and physical aggregates. Thereupon we awaken from sleep and perform various activities.
Sometimes people ask me, like, is there any method or technique that to help you to remember your dreams. Some people like to have lucid dream. I say lucid? Lucid dream. What that means? That you know you are dreaming? Or lucid dream. Control the dream or control the dream. People ask me, so one method has been mentioned in some other text, no one to name. During the awakened state, when you're awake, if you think intentionally, oh, this is a dream, it's not real, it's a dream. So explaining this text is a dream. People you see can dream, you think like that. Intentionally throughout the day. So that practice kind of helps to when you dream. So then it will help you to recognize that you are dreaming. If you recognize that you are dreaming, so then the dream yoga, you could practice dream yoga. Dream yoga. Same thing, like pardo. If you think, oh, this is not real, this is like pardo. The intention thing, this is pardo. So then that practice or method will help you to recognize when you are in pardo state. So these two methods have been mentioned. Okay, just want to share. Just want to share. Also prevent the question about that on my table. Milam jukaji charging that so she changing. You say about so many you said that be for them when Chaban Omokun to Jamie. So then okay, now I'll stop. Time is over. So come back from the pardo state next Wednesday. Okay. The pardo will be short, only 7 days, not 49 days.
In the Gold Prayer Book, turn to page 235, and we'll read the general dedication prayers. Gewadi nu dudak Lama Rinpoche, Make Panam Ke Gyuchi, Kewa Nyamba Me Baya, Gone Gondu Pawasho, Jampa Power Jita Kimpada, Kudu Sampo De Yande Jinte, Deda Kungi Jesu Daloche, Gewa Didan Tanche Raptu, Du Sun Shepe Gewa Tancheki, Goa Gala Chotunga Pada, Dashe Gewe Zawa Di Kunkya, Sampo Chucher up to Ngawagi. Then long life prayers on 244 and 245. Ganri Rawe Korwe Shinkamde, Pendande Wa Malu Jungwene, Chere Zewa Tenzin Yatsoi, Shabe Side Badu Tengyuchi. Jonu iye nala wanjote, awatare tsembara sopa, losangewe de ton le persho, shasun gengyo lama soa de. tupsu
shang shi jiang ge jiang wei ten zhen jiang bei wei gong zhen dang po tse shou zhen ku wei le me tu du pa da zo tu zhe gang du sha ten shou Om tare tu re so ha 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 Om tare tu re so ha.
And now I have a special announcement. We never do this on Wednesdays. It's so exciting. So you may have noticed, especially if you're sitting in the back and you're nearsighted, you may be wondering what this beautiful whiteboard is here that Joe prepared for us. And this is, we're creating a wonderful merit opportunity on Wednesday nights to incorporate a little bit of karma yoga into our practice. And we're choosing Wednesday nights to do this because we're more experienced students and we understand the importance of supporting the practice and supporting the center by offering some service. So as it happened, we had some people who came in and already did some of the things that are on here. Joe was here early and he ran through much of what is on the list, and we've also got taking down offering bowls and washing Sangha cups and other things. And so I think the plan is that we're going to have this list every Wednesday night, and it's an opportunity to come and see what needs to be done and jump in and help out. And if everything on the list is done and you can look around and see, well, that needs to be done, then that's another opportunity for you. So just to let you know that we're going to have this for you on Wednesday nights. Thanks. Thank you, Geshe.